Alright, it's well into the afternoon on Christmas Eve, and I've just been out farting around. I went down to Home Depot, and I went down to Harbor Freight. Got a few things. Then I straightened out my shed out back, which it was sorely needed. That took a few hours. I haven't hit a lick on this, but let me tell you what I have been doing the last couple hours. You know, it's kind of a soggy day. It's one of them days when it's kind of chilly, but you still sweat. Anyways, I've been looking at this, and I've been measuring, and I've been thinking. See, the problem with this thing is brakes are locked up. This thing, when it was at my dad's house, was in a flood. I don't know how high it got up, but I'm sure the rear differential is junk. And all this front end's wore out, and I have down in the woods it's like a, I don't know, 84 or something like that, 85 maybe, C20. I've just been doing some measuring, and I think if I ditch all this straight axle stuff and whack the frame on this about right there, just behind the rear spring perches. This frame is 7 inches tall. The one on that C20 is 6. The outside width is about the same. I bet I can slip it right inside that frame rail, kind of like I did on the 55. Get my wheelbase correct and weld it in. And it looks like the steering box would wind up, you know, right there. I'd have to do some U-joints to get it back up there, but if you look at a dump truck or something, they're full of U-joints. The brake master's right there. Look at the size, the brake arm on that thing. It's kind of pretty. I don't know about that. We might not be able to use that. And then I need the rear end out of that other truck, which I think will pretty much bolt in. So, that's what I'm thinking about. And I'm thinking about it because, look, there's a hubcap for something. An Impala. I'm thinking about it because this thing sit here, you can't really move it. It's aggravating. Plus I got parts everywhere, so I need to consolidate. Yeah, I really need to consolidate. If I took those parts off, I could scrap that other truck down there in the woods. I think scrap prices are coming up just a little. And I could scrap all the parts that I take off that van. And then I could put an engine in it. I got a 6-liter LS that runs good. And a 4L80E, but I was kind of wanting to put that in a 57. I don't know. What I'm thinking is I might take a break on this truck because I got some time off here, about a week. I'm just going to stay home. Not because some governor told me to, but because I want to. And work on my stuff. And since it's not hot, I might work on that van. Get them parts consolidated. And then come back to this thing later. The weather's supposed to be halfway decent. That's what I'm thinking. Of course, the problem with that idea is that van's full of parts. What am I going to do with them parts? There's at least, I don't know, there's 2 327s in there. There's at least 2-3 transmissions. Steering columns, drive shafts. What am I going to do with that stuff? I also picked up a 5.3. It's in a Tahoe. The transmission is junk, but the motor runs good. You know, 5.3 turbo 400. It might be pretty good in that van. Then again, so would a 6-liter and a 4L80E. I don't know, I got some pondering to do, don't I? Anyway, I got another project I'm going to work on today. I ain't going to work too much. I'm going to laze around in the house. It's Christmas Eve. And I never laze around in the house, except for when I do. Alright, it's Saturday after Christmas. I didn't do nothing yesterday. I didn't really do a whole lot the day before that. But today I'm going to do something. But right now I got to find my heater because it is cold. I come out here a little bit earlier. It was 36 in here. Now it's like 40, so I got to warm it up. Alright, now I got the heat working. I spent a good 2 hours yesterday looking for my glasses. Couldn't find them. But I found them just now. You people just got to keep an eye on me. I'm in rough shape. Alright, I better put these away or I'll never find them either. Alright, here's what I've been fooling with this morning. This jack, my air operated jack, ceased to operate by air, which annoyed me. So I said, you know, let me fix it since I got all this time off ahead of me. But I spent like 3 hours fighting with it. I think what it was, well, it wasn't 3 hours. This piston in here has grease on it which had hardened up. There's a big spring in there, so when you take this apart, that piston should pop out of there, which it did not. In fact, I had a time getting it out. So now I'm going to use that big C-clamp. Make sure you don't open up too much, and compress everything back together, hopefully, and have it to work. Have it to work. If not, I'm going to throw it out in the scrap pile and the Chinese can have it again. Well, guess what? That was a fail. I struggled with that thing, hooked up the air, it didn't work, and it blew oil all over the place. So evidently I've cut the O-ring there, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go buy another one and quit wasting my time. Throw that thing in the bushes. Maybe cut this off, it might come in handy for something someday. Alright, I rode to town, bought me a new jack, which functions. And the whole point of it, to use it, was for this. I saw this on Half-Ass Customs channel. He just whipped up a bracket on some angle irons and stuff. So I said, you know what, I could do that. So I built that up out of some scrap. And then I bent these two things up, which I'm going to use, I think, for additional bracing on my gooseneck hitch there to the frame. It's not really a fifth wheel, it's a gooseneck. Now some people are saying that's the wrong way, bolted to the frame. I sort of get that, but you know, they sell flatbeds like crazy with this gooseneck hitch in the flatbed. And they attach them to the frame. So, you know, I can't see how it's... I'm no engineer, but in my mind, I can't see how that's all wrong. Because this is 2x3, 3/16 tubing. It's securely attached to the frame in what will be 8 places at least. And I'm going to box that in a little bit more. I think it's going to be alright. That's my thought anyway. If it fails, I'll let you know. I have done a few things without following conventional wisdom. I have. It's really hard to believe, but I'm organizing.
It is pretty hard to believe.
That's the peanut gallery over there. Alright, it's Saturday. I didn't do too much filming today because I just wasn't in the mood for it. Hope y'all can forgive me. You're going to have to. Well, I guess you don't have to, but I wish you would. Would you ring the bell, pal? Don't forget to go to MrHeavyChevy.com where you can buy a sweatshirt like that or a hat like this and be cool. Like us.
Yeah.
Right?